Welcome everyone to another edition of Hardcore Wrestling Rants. I am your hardcore host, Rick Kidd, and I'm joined by the hardcore crew. First, he is the incomparable Lance Montz over at Lance Montz TV. Lance, what's shaking?
Lance?
Well, he'll be back.
Not too much. I was making sure we were still going.
All right. And, of course, we have the vicious vixen, the lovely Zoe Nightshade. Zoe, what's going on, baby?
I'm melting.
Yeah, I know you guys down south must be hot as hell, because it's hot as hell up here. And last and certainly not least, from the Skeldon Realms, he's the Lord Skeldon, Joseph Knight. Joe, what's going on?
Same thing. I'm tying up the heat here. I cannot wait to go on to these topics.
Yeah, well, we got one hell of a show to go. First, of course, we have to know that things have changed due to Matt Hardy. If I can open up my... There we go. One second, sorry. Got a little technical issue there. We know that tonight's AEW Road Rager Triple Threat Ladder match has been canceled. It was supposed to be the Young Bucks versus Luchasaurus and, of course, the Hardys. Unfortunately, due to Jeff Hardy's recent DUI, he has been suspended indefinitely by Tony Khan and AEW. So, unfortunately, we're not sure if that match is going to be canceled or if someone else is going to try to maybe do a replacement. What's your thoughts, Joe?
Wow, you know what? Matt Hardy has been in 3 promotions. Listen to this. WWE, well, WWF/E, Impact TNA Wrestling, and now AEW, and he screwed up in all 3. And then all 3 sent him to rehab. I do not understand why these guys, these are legends in wrestling, who make millions of dollars to put on a show where they're world-renowned, adored by fans, and they constantly screw it up. The Usos are a perfect example. They just throw their fucking lives away. But at least they got their cousin, uncle, son, brother, whoever that keeps bailing them out. So tonight, it should be, and this is the way I look at it, it should be the Young Bucks versus Jurassic Express versus FTR for that tag title, and that will save that show, Rick. That's
and a lot of fans have been suggesting that FTR takes that place, and it would really be a great. That would be still a great match. There are a couple of other matches: the Chris Jericho versus Ortiz, the hair versus hair match, and a couple of other ones. But Zoe, your thoughts on this triple threat ladder match possibly being canceled?
They actually updated it earlier today. It's just going to be the Young Bucks versus the Jurassic Express in a ladder match.
All right. Lance, over to you. Final thoughts.
Well, it's kind of disappointing when you see somebody like Jeff go through this shit. But, well, when he gets back, he can always come to the ring to rehab.
Well, that's the one good thing about these companies. They do take care of their talent, and they do send them to rehab. Unfortunately, Jeff Hardy, he was doing good for a while, and then he had that slip. But unfortunately, when it comes to addicts, they do have the slips.
And Terry says Trial and Court on YouTube has the footage of the arrest on their YouTube channel.
Yeah, they do. It's also on our HWR chat room and on Facebook. But again, there's a lot of other things to cover. Booker T pretty much blamed AEW for Jeff Hardy's drug relapse. Now this, excuse me, these are his words. AEW put the drink in his didn't put the drink in his hand. Go back and look at the compilation of all the death-defying dives that Hardy has pulled since arriving in AEW. I'm gonna tell you right there, pain comes along with that. When you got pain, you got a lot of times you want to drink and take drugs to numb the pain. Therefore, God damn it, I just relapsed. Did he try to do it? Probably not, but that's what people do with addiction. Now Booker T, he's partially right. I'm gonna have to give him a little bit on that factor because, yes, it's easy for those to have relapses, but I think Booker T just loves jobbing in AEW every time he can, Joe. I don't know.
Yeah, you know what? The Wilma Flintstones professional wrestling with that hair is that just Chucky quack bullshit. You know, I respect Booker. He's done a lot. He's come up the hard way in professional wrestling. He's become a legend. But I'm sure they needled him to say that because what was Jeff's excuse when he was in WWE? What was his excuse when he was in TNA? You know, Jeff, I really, this is a passionate thing for me because people always like to insinuate that another group, another person pushes you to do something. Nobody understands it's personal choice. You choose what to do to your body. If Jeff or Matt or anybody else wants to do stupidity to their body, they're the only ones that should be held accountable. You can't blame the company because Jeff chose to do those death-defying stunts. Just like he did in WWE, just like he did in Impact, just like he did in the Indies. That's his choice. It's just like the Young Bucks. Young Bucks take a hell of a punishment. You don't see them run into rehab. You don't see Darby Allin, who should be in rehab for the shit he does. But no, this is a personal choice. Jeff did it. He should be held accountable for it. And he is. He got pulled over, and he basically, in my eyes, ruined the legend that he is. Now, for the Usos, I wish they would get arrested and put away for good because they get away with it because of Roman Reigns.
Actually, you're referring to Jimmy Uso, who also has 3 DUIs. So these guys are literally neck and neck. I saw a funny meme where they was going to have a ladder match for the license, for a driver's license to be reinstated.
No, Rick. You got to have it the right way. It's several drinks on a pole match. Winner has to climb up the pole and then walk the line to see if they can actually pass the intoxication test, the sobriety test.
All right, Zoe. Now, this is not the first time Booker T has, thrown a punch to AEW. He recently, on today's podcast, he said that letting other wrestlers go to other promotions to work is a bad idea because they could possibly get hurt outside of the company. But still, again, this is just another job that Booker T loves to take at, AEW.
Booker T just tries to stay relevant, and he tries to stay in the good graces of WWE. Let's just say it like this. I mean, plain and simple, he kisses Vince's butt 24/7. As far as Jeff goes, I mean, we might make jokes about it, but in all seriousness, Jeff is sick. Jeff is not going to get better unless Jeff wants to get better. It is not on the company. It is on Jeff. And he's spiraling. He's constantly spiraling out of control. And it sucks to see your childhood heroes spiral like that. I mean, I don't know if he's thinking about whenever he's doing this crap, but his kids are going to see these videos of him getting pulled over and guns being pulled on him and him slurring his speech and he can't even stand still. People are even questioning Matt Hardy's sobriety, I noticed today, and blaming Matt for it. It is not Matt's fault. Matt can't be around Jeff all the time. He can't make Jeff's decisions for him. This all comes down to Jeff Hardy and his decisions.
Well, again, I'm not sure what his choice of addiction is. I'm not sure if it's alcohol or meth or any other kind of medication. But when you're an addict, unfortunately, sometimes that decision's not always in your hands. I have a family member who has a strong heroin addict, and he's been clean for years. But he still says, you know what? To this day, I miss it. I miss that rush. And unfortunately, if you see, excuse me, if you see that particular drug of choice that's available to you, you might want to grab it, despite your being hurt or whatnot. Lance, final thoughts.
Well, this thing about Booker saying, "Oh, it's a bad idea to loan your wrestlers out to other companies." Hey, Book, how many WWE wrestlers have performed for your company in Houston? And the thing about Jeff, like as always said, is he ain't gonna get it's gonna take him wanting to get clean. He can't get clean for anybody else but him.
Exactly.
And he has to want to stay clean.
Yeah.
Now Terry over on the YouTube channel says Booker T probably isn't happy that his trained wrestlers don't get better spots in AEW, or if they even get spots at on WWE. So Chucky quack quack.
Yeah.
Shut up.
I'm guessing that all Booker's guys go to the Performance Center or the WWE, and they probably don't go anywhere at all. And unfortunately, Booker's days, has passed. You can say that he's doing schooling in the podcast, and he does that, pay-per-views, at that ESPN during the kickoff shows that nobody gives a fuck about. But hey, if it's making the money, all the power to him. Why don't we shift gears here a little bit? Apparently, WWE, a lot of fans have been saying that Austin Theory could be the new face of the WWE. WWE's always had those like 3 or 4 top guys, and the one who stood above the rest. Now fans are looking up to seeing who's next. Now, Austin Theory is confident that he could reach the pinnacle of the company, but he's also not ignorant of the fact that he has a long way to go. This is what he had to say. I don't know what level it is because I'm on my way up and slowly starting to see different things and how the evolution is. For Theory, a character and me and my life being ready for that. The way things are going, I feel I'm on a steady pace, but at the same time, there are still some things that you have to, learn, and I had not realized that I have to get to a whole new level. Joe, I know that you've never really cared for Theory because he seems to be kind of a clown, which he is. But if you look back towards John Cena, where he was doing the thugonomics and, the ruthless aggression, nobody would have thought he would become the star he is today.
Exactly. Before I go into it, I want to give props to Terry for always being part of the show. He's been there. He says, he just posted, Bill DeMont blamed Matt for Jeff's falling off the wagon and that he was always abusing drugs and alcohol, to which Rebby replied back on Twitter calling him a dickhead for the accusation. So we know where that goes. I also want to throw a good shout out. This is a first-time listener. He just joined. I just found him on Facebook. He's an old friend of mine from the wrestling days. His name is Skipper. Skipper, man, great to see you. Hope you enjoyed the show. Now back over there to you, Rick. When I look at Austin Theory, he reminds me of what Sammy Guevara should be in that level. Get the bigger push. Now he's just him and Ty Conte just rolling around in the mat. So he basically is going to eclipse Sammy Guevara and he's going to move up. I think Theory has, if he doesn't get cocky, he doesn't get an attitude or a super ego like Shawn Michaels, I could see him going far. There's even rumors to state, Rick, I don't know if anybody's heard, maybe they could back it up or or shoot it down. Where Theory is supposed to set up a match with John Cena, where that will elevate him further.
I read a rumor that Cena will be coming to WWE, but it's going to be a one-off thing. I'm guessing it's just a promo, a movie, or a TV show, or who knows what. He didn't mention anything about wrestling, so, I mean, who knows? He could probably have a face-off with Theory, but time will tell on that one. I'm going to move on again to this show, this movie, Hulk Hogan biopic, which is called Hulkamania, and it's apparently stalled. This movie was announced back in 2020. Now you could say the pandemic, took some time off, and it kind of delayed everything, which the whole world stopped for about a year and a half, give or take. And now even Hemsworth, Chris Hemsworth, doesn't really seem to be too enthusiastic about the progress of the movie. This is what he said when asked. He goes, well, maybe, but there are different things that need to come together before this to happen. There will be some time before I rip any shirts off, but when I do, you'll be the first to hear. But in the meantime, right now, Hemsworth is working on 2 other movies. Lance, what's your thoughts?
Okay, this is the dude that played Thor, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and he just came out with the movie Thor: Love and Thunder, so which is going to be big.
Well, now it'd be Thor: Love and Thunder, brother. But yeah, there's so much of a clusterfuck surrounding Hulk Hogan right now. Good luck, whoever the hell's writing this.
Well, it's got to be Hulk Hogan. He's probably just thinking, oh, it'll all come together. Who knows? I don't know, actually, producers or writers, but they need to get the head out of their ass and really start moving. We know that Thor, or at least the picture of who's supposed to be Thor is supposed to be really thin, and that's not Chris Hemsworth. Chris Hemsworth is, a bigger guy, so I think if he works out a little bit more, gains more weight, I think it could work out. Joe, your thoughts?
Well, I was looking at it, and you know what? Yes, Hulk Hogan has a lot of controversy, but he is still an icon in professional wrestling. When you talk about professional wrestling, you talk about the Road Warriors, Nature Boy, Ric Flair, Sting, and you got to say Macho Man Randy Savage, and you got to say Hulk Hogan. So no matter what controversy, there's going to be Hulkamaniacs that want to see the movie. There's going to be people that want to see it just to see what kind of lifestyle. They already seen they know his bio. They've seen the documentaries. Right now, I think personally, there is a market for this, especially the state of professional wrestling as it is today. So Chris Hemsworth, I think, yeah, Rick, give him dye his hair pure blonde. Let him have the Fu Manchu mustache. A little bit thicker, but remember, Hulk Hogan was also slim when he first started in the AWA. He didn't start getting bigger till he started moving to Vince in 1984. So he's the right size for it. But my thing with Chris Hemsworth, I personally think he should stick to doing the Marvel movies and let somebody else do Hulk Hogan's movie, because if it flops, at least he's not connected to it.
Fair enough. Zoe, your thoughts?
I like Chris Hemsworth as an actor. I am going to watch the movie just because I want to see what they're going to put in it and how close to the truth that Hulk Hogan is going to let them put in it. As far as that goes, he does need to beef up his upper body quite a bit. And yeah, it's just my perspective to it. So, yeah, I'm going to watch the movie just to see what's going on.
All right. Well, I want to move on now.
Before you move on,
go ahead.
You know what they forgot about of this movie, and Terry just reminded me?
Okay.
All right. What about the Iron Sheik? We need to see a Sheiky Baby movie.
Yes.
I don't know if Shiki Baby would be able to do it. But because all he does now is get drunk and say "fuck you," I break you.
Hey, buddy,
Lance does it better.
make you I mean, I mean.
He'd be more entertaining than anything Joe Biden has done.
Yeah, no kidding. There are rumors that Tessa Blanchett has been fired from Women of Wrestling, who's also he seems to be the executive producer, AJ Lee. So right now, the reports are still sketchy. It's not exactly sure. We all know that Blanchett has been outspoken and is always been a bully in the back. Apparently, her latest issue was making a joke of Samantha Sage, who's also known as Miss America, in the promo. Blanchett has been the center of controversy all the time. I mean, we've heard the rumors about her alleged racial slurs. Some backed them up. Others just said, nope, that didn't happen. And then when the pandemic hit, she was the Impact Wrestling champion, the first one ever, and she refused to give up that title even though she was stripped. So, Joe, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know the full facts, but I wouldn't be surprised if Tessa Blanchett's gone from WoW.
You know what? Obviously, she's going to be gone from WoW. She's going to be a hot topic that, in a negative way, that no one's going to want to deal with her. She's done so many things, and she did stuff in Impact that didn't go over well. Now in WoW, when you get thrown off an indie show and you're fired from an indie show, all right, I don't care what people say. When you are literally fired from an indie show, that says we don't want to touch you. Nobody, when you're that low, and it's not making fun of the indie scene, because I know Zoe's in the indie scene. By the way, if you're looking for a great manager, hire Zoe. There's the props for you, Zoe. But if you're getting fired from that with the talent and connections that she has, obviously there's something wrong about her. People defended her, Rick. We covered this. But I think, this is, again, personal choice. You choose to do something. And this is what happens when you pretty much fuck up now. Now you're really done.
Yeah, Terry in the chat room says she won't even be able to wrestle with Glow. And unfortunately, Lance, that's really the case. She's been pushing herself and kind of burning a lot of bridges. WWE won't touch her. AEW, even Tony Khan, even said, won't touch her.
Yeah, and you know damn well she can't go back to Impact. But if it's over a promo, I'm sorry. This is the wrestling business. People say shit in promos.
Well, no, I was talking about in the back. She was kind of like making a joke of Miss Americana's promo.
Oh, okay. I was like, this is wrestling.
So
grow up. But yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, when she, and she just is a bully in the back.
Mm-hmm.
So she's never in good shape, So I don't know where she's gonna have to wrestle next. She's gonna be wrestling indie shows.
That's if they even take her, because again, when you're fired, and Zoe knows this, when you're blackmarked in an indie company, that's going to spread around. Regardless, that is going to screw you up. So I don't know if the best thing for her right now is keep training, take time off away from the public eye, maybe fix her attitude, and then try again. Maybe come in a mask and come back and redeem herself, and then say, hey, it's me, give me a second chance, or third chance, fourth chance, fifth chance, sixth chance. But I think she needs to now step away from this and do something out of wrestling, and so people could forget about her.
I don't know, Zoe. I mean, if let's say Tessa Blanchard took a hiatus or sabbatical or whatever, just disappeared for a while, do you really think people are gonna say, "Oh, I forgot about everything she did and said and did"?
I don't think so. I think she's going to be gone. 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 I think
Because of who she is and who her father is, no. If she stepped away, people are still going to know Tessa Blanchard for the crap that she has said and the crap that she has done. They're not going to know her as a really good wrestler. They're just going to remember the bad things about her. I mean, to be labeled as a bully in the back is one thing, but being labeled as a train wreck and a cancer to the business is a horrible thing. And unfortunately, it looks like she is well on the way of being labeled that.
Yeah, unfortunately, that does seem to be the case. Um, I want to move along again to one of the last subjects. And Jake the Snake Roberts finally vented on his podcast, The Snake Pit, about how Lance Archer has this losing streak. Now, the Murder Hawk has been on a 5-month losing streak since he beat Frankie Kazarian back in January. And this is what Jake had to say. It's so frustrating for me to see Lance in the spot that he's in. He's such a phenomenal athlete. He's in a great shape. He's unbelievable look. The only thing Lance really can't do is talk on the mic, and that's why they brought me in. Joe, they're bringing Jake the Snake Roberts to help elevate Lance Archer, who I think is an incredible wrestler. If you ever watched him in Lucha Underground, even in WWE. And for some reason, they're not pushing this guy.
I can tell you, first of all, I agree with you. Lance Archer is a great worker. For a big man, he knows his limitations. He goes in there and he does his match the way a big man supposed to do their match. He's not going to go Bret Hart scientific. He's going to go pound for pound what he knows what to do, and it works. Now, having Jake the Snake in his corner as a mouthpiece, you couldn't ask when he's sober and he's straight. You could not ask for a better promo guy next to a Dusty Rhodes or a Ric Flair, because Jake has always been captivating when he's on his A game, even back to his wrestling days. Best promos back in WrestleMania 3. Now, the reason the guy is not being used to push properly, very simple. Let me say the names. Matt, Jeff, Brian, and every other former WWE guy who's entered AEW. With that alone should tell you that him and every other AEW guy is up against the wall, because they always are going to be overlooked, just like the girls are going to get overlooked by every former WWE talent that's basically shows up behind the curtain to collect a paycheck. So instead of fixing and working with their roster, the original roster, and make today's people tomorrow's superstars and legends, they constantly bring WWE legends and squash the other talent. That is why guys like Lance Archer, people like what's her name? Like, not Britt Baker, but Jamie Hayter and everybody else is going to be pushed down the ladder for all these WWE people. One or two is fine. When you bring the fucking roster, you're just killing your product all over again. That's the exact reason why Lance Archer hasn't moved up, or anybody else has gotten a fair deal.
And I agree with you absolutely. Absolutely. And that goes back to MJF's rant, where he talked about bringing in all ex-WWE wrestlers, because they're the ones who get paid a lot more. They're the ones who are getting, the pushes. Even FTR, great tag team, but what are they doing? They've gotten tag team titles over and over. CM Punk walked in and he said, "Oh, gee, I want a title shot." He beat a couple of jobbers that even before AEW was around, nobody gave a shit about. And then all of a sudden, he wants one title match and he wins it. And then he says, "Well, I gotta go on vacation." And it's wrestlers like that. I really don't care. Now, Athena, Ember Moon, I'm a huge fan of her, and I thought she got a raw deal in NXT and WWE altogether. So, am I psyched she's in AEW? Yes. But on the same hand, she's an ex-WWE wrestler. Lance, I know you're a huge fan of Athena, but what's your thoughts on Jake Roberts' frustration with Lance Archer not getting pushed?
Honestly, he's 100% in the right because okay, Lance Archer has the size, and the ability. He was lacking the mouthpiece. He has that now. There's no reason he shouldn't at least be in the title picture way more than he is not jobbing to guys.
Absolutely. You couldn't have said it better. Zoe, your thoughts?
I agree with Jake the Snake Roberts 110%. This man, Lance Archer, needs to be pushed. Whenever I saw that he was in that Battle Royal on Wednesday night, I thought for sure, okay, he's going to win it, and we're going to get to see one hell of a match between him and Jon Moxley. No, it did not happen that way. He's getting jobbed out to guys who are smaller than he is. They have an excellent talent right there in their hands, and they are doing nothing with it.
I agree, and he's fast, he's agile, and he is a powerhouse. And why they're not pushing him? Well, who knows? Tony Khan, maybe he is a mark. Maybe he just loves all the WWE guys. He got AEW going with all these other guys, and then as they all start coming over, he gets a hard-on for them. Who knows? I really can't understand the whole process, his thought process. Moving on, Gail Kim actually offered Paige a job with Impact Wrestling. Now, Gail Kim, for those of you who don't know, she is a producer, and Paige's contract with the WWE is coming to a close. Paige has not worked for a couple of years now, and she's really been nothing but disdained. She's kept her mouth shut and kind of kept quiet about it, but she's made it very clear that she doesn't want to be with the WWE, and the WWE won't let her wrestle her. So in a recent interview, Gail Kim spoke with SE Scoops, and she said, never say never. I love Paige. I admire everything she's done for women's wrestling. She also came up at a kind of period where maybe was so powerful what it is now. Women's wrestling probably is at its best right now in the main eventing. Pay-per-view shows, it's not an irregular thing to happen nowadays. So Paige was part of that process. I have nothing but respect for her in and outside of the ring, and if she wants to come over to Impact Wrestling, I feel the doors are open for her, so come on over, Paige. Joe, we know how much you love Impact. Now, I'm going to let you go on your little rant there.
Thank you. Go get yourself some glass of milk, put grandma to bed, because this is going to be...
Joe, hang on one second. Joe, if I may. That's joe@skoldinsrealm.com, because I know something's coming.
Yeah. Well, first of all, in that whole paragraph Rick read, notice how she says she wants Paige to come over and something with the period, and that she has work for her. Well, we've seen what kind of work Paige can do, and unless you got a nice shiny belt that you don't care about, I think you can give that to Paige. Paige is not a great wrestler. Paige can't wrestle because her neck. The only thing she can do, and she's not even great at that, is be a GM and come out. The only thing that you can do with Paige, besides porn, is have her at ringside where she can fulfill like the sensational Sherry role, where she will get physical, but not really get beat up. That's the only thing that she could do, because anything else, Paige is not great. All right. Terry says over in YouTube page, Paige is on her Twitch the next day, basically said numerous times, simply put, WWE doesn't want me anymore. nothing I could say or do is about to change that. Well, it's nothing for you to do because there's nothing you can do
Well,
except maybe team up with Xavier and somebody else and do a threesome.
that's already happened, though. WWE doesn't like to repeat themselves.
Yeah,
Yes, they
you know
do,
what?
but
They should have really jumped on the bandwagon. They could have done T-shirts that says "Page 2 for 1."
well, you know what? Let me get serious for a second. Nobody ever thought that Edge would return to the ring. Nobody ever thought that Daniel Bryanson would return to the ring. And
yes, but
now they both have their neck. You know, they had that stem cell replacement, and they seem to be 100% or somewhat. But let me ask you this, Joe. Even if she doesn't go back in the ring, you don't think she could work as a producer and maybe help elevate the Impact?
Oh God, no.
Why?
What does she know about producing? First of all, producing. I've learned producing, and it is not easy. You have to focus on so many things happening. You can't let your ego get in the way of things. You cannot be thinking that you're going to get all yourself on camera. You know, Paige is not on that level. Paige is good eye candy. Paige is good manager material. For someone to pull her into the back, she's going to have to sit down with Gail Kim, and we don't know Gail Kim how she does as a producer, so we don't know how she does. You know, and it's Impact. You're not going to have the stellar. You're going to get stellar extravagances that WWE has. So, you know, it doesn't take. We even said it once. Three monkeys in an office with enough time and a typewriter and enough paper, you can come out a script. That's Impact Wrestling's creative and producing. All right. So honestly, if they want Paige, put her in a managerial role. That's all she could do.
Well,
and
Terry,
once that luster goes off, that'll be the end of it.
Terry made a very fair point. Okay, Paige has been in wrestling for decades, probably even before she was born. Her parents, her family ran a promotion. Now maybe it was not the greatest promotion, but I'm sure they learned how to do the promos. She's learned how to work with other companies, like work behind the scenes and maybe how certain matches are played out. So I still think that, is it possible? Yes. Would I like to see her in Impact? Well, unfortunately, Impact, I'd like to see them, rise up again, because I don't want to just start seeing another ex-WWE wrestler going to AEW. Zoe, your thoughts?
I like Paige. I really, really do. I loved her before the whole Alberto Del Rio thing that went down. I loved watching her to see what was going to come out her next. This girl, you can tell by the way that she talks about this business that her heart is in this business. This is what she knows. This is what she loves. This is what she was brought up in. I don't want to see her over at Impact because they would just screw everything up. Now, if she gets the go-ahead from her doctors to get back in the ring, she's going to need to do a lot of training because no doubt she's probably got some ring rust. I would love to see her do something with her life that pertains to the business, whether it's wrestling, whether it's being a manager, a general manager. I want to see her come back and do what she loves to do.
Absolutely. Well, Lance, you get the final thoughts.
Okay. Thing is, if she got cleared to wrestle again, because we don't know, we're not her doctor or anything, but if she did, it's been, 5-6 years since she's had a match?
No, it's been about 3, 2.5, 3.
Something like that. But like Zoe said, there's ring rust there. Honestly, a place like that has not the, it has a TV reach, but not one of the big two. I wouldn't necessarily be opposed to her going to Impact for a year or so And if she makes waves and a big name on that scene where everybody's ranting and raving about her, yeah, then she can go somewhere else. But if something else happens, therein lies the problem. If something happens, because I ain't so sure her neck's good anymore.
All right. Well, that's pretty much wraps up this edition of Hardcore Wrestling Rants. I want to thank again Terry for coming into the chat room and giving him his thoughts. We're here on YouTube live every Wednesday night at 5 o'clock.
Rick, can I throw in one more topic? If it's
sure,
possible?
Go ahead. Absolutely.
I don't know if if we talked about this. You know, me being old, I got a couple of screws loose, so I don't remember.
Yeah, more than a screw, Joe's. A few.
Yeah, definitely. And sometimes I do feel like I'm screwed. We have not talked about Thunder Rosa and what happened with the accusations of her sandbagging Marina Shafif. It's basically a big issue that a lot of people are talking about. And let me just read the information, then we could go about this. Since her AEW title, women's world title defense against Marina Shafir on June 8th, Dynamite, Thunder Rosa has faced accusations she sabotaged their match. Sharif and former women's champ Dr. Britt Baker seems to support that sentiment on social media, which helped bring the past incidents Rosa was involved in back into the spotlight. During an appearance on a MMA fighting podcast, the MMA Hour, Ariel Helwani asked Thunder Rosa about the entire situation. The clip came from the show after the champ delivered a fiery promo and about how she has a chip on her shoulder as the first Mexican woman to win a title in a major promotion. Who succeeded despite not fitting the mold and despite doubters and distractors. This was what Thunder Rosa said. No, the sandbagging accusations isn't true. I have nothing but respect for my opponents. Nothing but respect for my opponents. For anyone that dares to stand in the ring with me, I have nothing but respect for my opponents. That's 3 times she said that phrase. I send them nothing but blessings. Moving on forward, I will continue to work harder to have the best matches I can and bring the most opportunities to all the women that are behind me. So that when they step in the ring with her, that they're okay. Okay, cool. Like I said, people are going to talk, and that's fine. I'm not worried about it. I will continue to move forward, and I will continue to show her body of work and what she is all about. That's all she has to say about that. So, you know, later acts about how she feels about Dr. Britt Baker. She just basically repeated herself that she respects her opponents, and that's it. Obviously, we watched the June 8th Dynamite for that match. And if there was any sabotaging, I didn't see it. And like I said, I could see it in the ring. I see a lot of botches done, which is probably from Marina Shafir. I don't think Thunder Rosa is that type, especially given the push that she just got. Rick, I don't think she's going to be looking to sabotage and get a bad name for herself at this point in her career.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think somebody all of a sudden, once they get a title and get the push, is going to start, like making other people look like shit. Marina Sharif, I'm sorry, but the woman belongs in MMA. She's like a Ronda Rousey who doesn't know her way around the ring. And friends of Marina Sharif, if that's how I'm pronouncing it, is getting behind her back, saying, "Oh, gee, it's all Thunder Rosa's fault. The alleged sandbagging." I didn't see any kind of sandbagging. I saw Marina just sucking in the ring. I don't know about you, Zoe.
I didn't see any sandbagging. I mean, I have sandbagged somebody once before. Was it intentional? Absolutely not. It's because I got blew up too fast. My adrenaline wore off. If Thunder Rosa happened to sandbag somebody, I don't think it would be intentional. She just doesn't seem like that kind of wrestler to me. And with that chick, whatever you want to say her name was, I don't know.
Marina Sharif.
Yeah, her. I don't see her as a wrestler. I see her more as a UFC fighter, like you said. But no, I don't think Thunder Rosa is all of a sudden got this big head and is going to sabotage everybody to make herself look better. I don't see her playing that game.
Now, Rick, I did post that video and the article in our chat room on Facebook. That's in the group section, HWR chat room. So if you folks want to go check that out, it is there.
Now, Lance, I want your final thoughts on this one.
Okay, Maria Shafir. I've seen her compete quite a lot in judo, but this ain't judo. Her actual professional wrestling work is sloppy as fuck, and she's too damn rough. To me, it's on her.
Well, you know what? Well said and very shortly put. I do want to bring up one more subject, and unfortunately I didn't really get a chance to get to it, but the Roman Reigns, apparently, they're saying that they're not going to unify the titles. They're going to keep it as a WWE title and a Universal title. So, one rumor said that he's going to be going back and forth, but from what other rumors have said, that he's going to be taking some time off. So, I don't know, Joe. What do you think they're going to do with these two titles?
Well, right now, they need to just merge them and start doing the same thing that AEW is doing. Start passing the belt to different people to see who can hold that belt. You know, that's the whole reason. They advertised this as a title-for-title match. They did advertise it. Roman Reigns won both belts. He's unified the championship. WWE said it many times during that match and after. Now they're not sure, but they have no choice. Their talent base is very small. They don't have enough great contenders to fight for that belt, let alone the Intercontinental Championship and the United States Championship are basically in limbo. Nobody's stepping up for that. So they do need to merge those belts, and they need to have them appear on both shows to carry a feud over. If he's hypothetically against Cody Rhodes, then let him be Cody Rhodes. Then go to SmackDown. Let him fight with a SmackDown guy. Jump back and forth. Because eventually they're going to have to merge both rosters together again because there isn't enough talent. That's why they merged the tag titles. That's why they should merge the women's titles. So Roman Reigns, they need to wake him up. If he's taking time off, then they need to do the same thing that they did to CM Punk in AEW. Take the belt off of him, give it to someone else to defend that title, so at least that belt can stay relevant. The Intercontinental and the U.S. belt are no longer relevant. The tag titles are being cuddled by the DUR boys, so they need to do something with that belt because I don't even care about what happens in WWE anymore.
Well, I could care less too, but I was just curious as to how they're going to move Roman Reigns around because I knew that he has had a busy couple of years, and he did earn that spot, and he did earn to beat Brock Lesnar because Brock Lesnar, he's here for 2 or 3 weeks, and he's gone for 6 to 8 months. I'm not sure exactly what they plan on doing with, again, the titles if he takes some time off. But right now, WWE has Fox and USA to deal with, and Fox wants specific wrestlers on their show. And then USA has the same issue. So I think, honestly, until WWE it goes back to one network, meaning most likely USNBC, we're going to see these splits. Lance, your thoughts?
I'm going to say this has actually been pissing me off ever since. But, okay. Now, granted, WWE treats what happens at a house show doesn't really matter or in the grand scheme of TV. So, they should never have put and I'm going to say this, because they should have had, if They should have had Brock win the belt. If Roman wasn't going to defend the damn thing on TV, I mean, I know he's supposed to be defending it this tomorrow, Friday night, but he has not defended the belt on TV or pay-per-view since he won at WrestleMania. They should not have put the belt on that sumbitch.
Well, you know what? Unfortunately, that's more WWE than Roman Reigns, because I don't think we've ever really seen a lot of WWE titles being defended, even back in the 80s. I don't know if I'm wrong, but Zoe, your thoughts?
I agree with Lance on that. Honestly, whenever you are the champion of a promotion, you are the top guy. You are expected to put butts in seats. You are expected to push merch. You are expected to do, defend your title at pay-per-views. If Roman is wanting to take time off, good for him. Take the belt off of him and put on somebody else that can live up to those responsibilities and expectations.
Well, we know that Cody Rhodes, unfortunately, is out due to that muscle tear. And he probably wouldn't have been, a perfect fit for that title. So, Lance, let me ask you right now, if you had to put that title on a wrestler on Raw, who would that be?
Actually, it wouldn't be on Raw. I'd put both of them on McIntyre.
Well, see, again, there lies a problem. I don't know about you, Joe, because they're not merging these titles. They're having separate titles. So,
well, here's the thing. He could still do it because he could still go on both brands because he does have both titles. So, I don't know. See, my thing is, I see McIntyre. I like McIntyre. I think he's a good worker. But, and here's the big but of that all, is it's been done, and he did not draw. So.
Well, you know what? In his defense, it was the pandemic.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So he really didn't have much of a choice. But I'm going to tell you, the Royal Rumble, I was rooting for him. When I saw him just eyeball Brock Lesnar, I knew that he was going to get a title. But you can't put two titles on a one person. I don't think we've really seen that in the history of the WWF/WWE. Even when the Ultimate Warrior won both titles at WrestleMania 6, he was forced to give one up and one was empty.
Right. But that was a secondary title that he gave up. That wasn't the world title. So the way I look at it is, they really have nothing to lose at this point. It's the same concept. They have a belt. They have two championships that basically equal the same shit anyway. They're both world titles, regardless if you want to call it universe. Roman Reigns is not going to fight a Martian or a fucking Venusian.
Joe, don't give them any ideas. They might do. This is WWE.
Yeah, I shouldn't be even giving them that idea, but it's technically world titles with different brands. You're beyond to the point. If we were to say, give me 10 of the top contenders for that world title, it will jump back and forth because in one brand, they don't have it. And you already said it yourself. Cody is out. Rollins has held it multiple times. He's boring. McIntyre has held it. Big E has held it. Okay.
Big E's out.
Right, exactly.
Well, but again, you're talking about other wrestlers. Roman Reigns has held it 5 or 6 times. I'm not sure the exact amount. Same thing with Seth Rollins. But, I mean, what about AJ Styles?
See, that would be a perfect person.
Well,
there are other wrestlers. Unfortunately, AJ Styles has kind of stepped to the back, because he was doing that sort of almost. And then he just kind of it's just kind of, I wouldn't say sitting on the sidelines because he's actually wrestling. But, this is where they had a chance. A tournament, which Vince McMahon hates, would also be another viable idea. But again, These are things that WWE won't do, and it's another reason why I can't fucking stand the product. I would rather watch I watch independent wrestling on Pluto TV, and despite the shitty ring and the arena, I enjoy that better. What does that
What
say about the
about
WWE? It's supposed to be the biggest company in the world.
Go ahead, Zoe.
what about Balor? I mean, fans love him regardless if he's heel or face.
Yeah.
That's
Uh,
another one.
I don't. I Balor
Give him
just
a chance. See what he does.
Well, I would have suggested if they didn't get rid of Edge, which made no sense to me, they could have put it on Damian Priest because he was on the rise.
Oh. Yes.
anybody except Omar or Omis or whatever the fuck.
Yeah,
his name is.
almost. Yeah.
I have a feeling he's gonna get it though.
The
No,
day he gets it is the day that I will quit wrestling altogether. Watching it and being part of it.
All right, guys. So we're gonna wrap all this edition up of Hardcore Wrestling Rants. Again, I want to thank Terry who was hanging out in the chat room. We have also want to give a shout out to our good friends, Mr. and Mrs. A, over at BC Games and More, where they play a lot of old, rare retro games. They do trivia, give out gifts, and much, much more. Again, in the group section on Facebook, BC Games and More. Joe, you over at Southern Realms. Tell everybody about it.
absolutely. You guys can check me out at Scoldress Realm. Just do the hashtag Scoldress Realm. I am on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch, and on Instagram. Right now, I've been taking a little bit of time off, but I'll probably be doing the stream tonight by Daylight because they have a new killer out there and a new survivor and a new map. So I'll probably give that a whirl. Besides that, I'm always keeping an eye on the indie scene, and I'm going to be doing some traveling. Me and my wife going to do some camping, so we're going to go probably shoot some videos on that. Finding Bigfoot, who knows? You know, but I want to say something. I want to say thank you, Terry, and definitely such a great thing. He's on YouTube as LES Survivor, Lower East Side Survivor. He is my good friend, Skipper. Damn, Skipper, it's good to see you. Hope you enjoyed the show and keep coming back. And I want to still continue that petition to get Andy back.
Oh, absolutely. We gotta get that son of a bitch in. Zoe, I know right now, unfortunately, KZW is no longer, but you're also booking. So tell everybody about how they can find you.
You can find me on Facebook at Zoe Nightshade, and that's ZOE Nightshade. Or you could even find me on my personal Facebook page, which is Kayla Hobbs. Right now, I'm hoping that I have a booking for next month. Just have to wait and see how it goes. But if you are in the Jellicoe, Tennessee area this coming weekend, I know that my friends over at Traditional Southern Wrestling is having a show. It is free admission. Bring your own chair. It is an outdoor show. So find them on Facebook. It's Traditional Southern Wrestling.
All right, Lance. We know you love building guitars, but we also know you love drinking coffee. Tell everybody about.
Which we're currently working on the guitar builds because the heat's kicking our ass right now. But every Tuesday night you can see me, Zoe, and whoever else shows up shoot the shit for what would you say, Zoe? About an hour and a half, 2 hours.
Yeah, I'd say about that.
And basically have a good time, and you can listen to us instead of listening to NXT.
All right. So for the Hardcore crew, I'm your hardcore host, Rick Head, saying we'll see ya when we see ya.
Buy the shirt!
Yes, if you do want to buy the shirt, go to ScoldressRealm.live, hit that merch button, and go straight, and you can see our T-shirts there.